all black women. This is why black people will always be at the bottom. The bottom feeders like y'all can't stand together. Ms. Willis is doing her job.
It seems to me that if they really did date, before she hired Eddie Wade, more than two people could produce quantifiable proof of their relationship. Somebody somewhere would have seen them together. It's super easy to criticize people when you haven't walked in their shoes.
The late Bernie Mac stated in a joke, God asked him to tell him one thing that he don't know. He said that he told God. When will black people stick together? He said God couldn't answer that question. This is proof right here. Why we can't stand together.
What kind of Christian are you? What kind of black man are you? You believe that Donald Trump is a better person?
Jason, come on, man. Do you think I'm about to read all this? You can read it yourself, man.
Grace and peace, everybody. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. You know what we're about to do. So, of course, Fani Willis here in Atlanta has been getting a lot of publicity. Last week's fiery deposition on Wednesday and Thursday really caused a lot. I mean, the news cycle has been owned by Fani Willis and that what's going on. Now, of course, what ends up happening in this situation, in situations like this, is that it becomes polarizing. And what happens is certain people side with one aspect of the story and another group of people side with another. So it might be women side with Fani because she's a woman. It might be conservative side against Fani because she's with the nature of the case. It could be black people side with Fani because they're black. And then, of course, white people would be against Fani because she's black or because the prosecution is white, whatever. It's a whole bunch of foolishness. If you remember a couple weeks ago, I did a video from Jason Whitlock talking about organizing principles, what it is that causes us to galvanize and coalesce around a certain movement and so on and so forth. And I said in that skin is the least favorable organizing principle because it's nothing that you can control. It doesn't depict your character. It doesn't say anything about the kind of moral person that you are. It just says that, hey, you got a lot of melanin. God blessed you with a lot of melanin. That's it. That's all that tells me. It tells me nothing about your character. God gave you double X chromosomes. That's fantastic. But it tells me nothing about your character. And so I wanted to come on tonight because I've had some really fun pro Fani Willis, and I just played those right there. And we're going to take the time and we're going to look at the last one because I feel like the last one was literally the absolute best example of the poor, smooth-brained ideology that comes from people that support Fani Willis. Now, you can support Fani Willis because you think she does a great job, and that's perfectly fine. Very few people are even talking about the job that she does. Very few people even know the job that she does. But they have now turned this into, as I like to say, spiritual money laundering because they're taking the fact that this woman is immoral. She's not representing morality in any way, shape, or form. And they're only turning a blind eye to it because of what she's doing, because of the case that she's involved in. And I think it's comical. So therefore, I'm going to make fun of this by reading this really dusty comment. So we got our fanny pack is full of dust because this is a super dusty comment. But let's go ahead and let me give a little bit of context before we jump too far in. I want to talk about why I don't support race loyalty or ethnic loyalty. And there's a lot of reasons why. And most of you all know these things, of course, and realize that, like, for example, that if I'm only support people that look like me, that causes division from people that don't look like me. Like, for example, when I say that I vote black. Well, what about if the black person doesn't represent your ideas, or if the black person has bad character? Oh, it doesn't matter. I just vote black. That it causes division amongst myself and other people and so on and so forth. It also pushes stereotypes. If I sit there and say that I only support people that look like me and I must coalesce around people that look like me, well, does everybody act like me? Well, they can't. So eventually what ends up happening is we have to start acting like each other, or we support stereotypes that we actually don't support. And we've seen this all the time when you talk about the culture. All the time you see the culture wars, when we have a conversation about black culture, we have a conversation about white culture, it always boils down to stereotypes and things that, of course, at the end of the day, not everybody supports. It blocks empathy. It blocks my ability to engage with people of less melanin or other people groups because I'm only focusing on my people group. Go look at Dr. Umar Johnson. He doesn't understand white people. He doesn't understand any other people group except his. I'm not saying that you should not care about black people, but to care about black people at the extent, dare I say, even at the expense of other people is foolish. And so it's only going to get more and more interesting from there. I'm going to ask you all to hold for a second. There we go. All right. It's only going to get more and more weird from there. Next, it limits the growth of our people, because if all we're doing is working with people that look exactly like us, then we're not going to be able to move forward, because if my people group are not moving past a certain level or are stuck at a certain ideological level, then we can't grow any further because we're all stuck here, because we keep working with and only interacting with the same type of people that, of course, as we just said before, are not growing. But even more than that, and that's just on a basic humanistic level. On a Christian plane, however, our organizing principles are should be around the gospel and around what the fundamentals, the foundational principles of the Christian faith. Help me understand where and how the Christian faith embraces ethnic priorities. I'm listening. I'll wait. Okay, yeah, like I thought. So there's no room for ethnic partiality in the Christian gospel. So all these black folk who are promoting Fani Willis because she's black are wrong just because of the fact that you are now showing ethnic partiality. And you know it's ethnic partiality, and you know it's wrong because if you flip the people groups and had a white person say that, y'all would be up in arms. Therefore, you can't do that. And yes, I did say that. And it's retarded that y'all do that, but here we are. We're still here in 2024, still trying to explain to smooth-brained humans that you don't need to show partiality to other humans. You treat people the way you want to be treated. It's really that easy. It's really that easy. But let us continue. When we don't do that, and this is inside the Christian church, and dare I say the black church, because this is really a black church. Fani Willis is a blight. She's a big giant fat pimple on the nose of the black church, because the black church keeps turning a blind eye to Fani Willis's sin rather than call her to repent, rather than call Nathan Wade to repent. Y'all rallying around them, playing block and defense around them, and you're allowing them to not be critiqued. You're allowing them to not be admonished to repent. You're allowing them to actually stay in their sin because you hate them. You hate Fani Willis. If you don't correct Fani Willis and say, Fani, you're wrong, you hate her. If you don't tell Nathan Wade that he's wrong, you hate him. You can't care about him and have the gospel in your heart. You can't. So therefore, you hate him. So now, we're going to read this smooth brain comment. I should have put the dusty comments. I should have ran it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get used to this new platform. I'll try to add it to it when I do the edit on this. But we're going to read this smooth brain comment, and I'm just going to tell you right now, I am not going to play fair. I'm not, because it's dumb. And we as people of the high melanin have to hold each other accountable. We've gone decades and generations without being accountable for our own selves. We're quick to point the finger. We're quick to blame over here, but we don't look at ourselves and say, it's my fault. It's my fault. Sure. There's some external forces, no problem about that. But nobody made Fani get involved in a sexual relationship with a married man. Nobody made Nathan get involved with Fani Willis while he was married. Nobody made Fani hire her boyfriend to work on a very serious case. Nobody made her do that. She did that herself. So the critique needs to start with Fani and end with Fani. The critique needs to start with Nathan and end with Nathan. Y'all smooth-brained idiots that are out here trying to defend and block and cover this poor, wretched, wicked behavior, that's y'all fault. So tonight, I'm going to read this comment because it is so slick-brained. I'm like, yo, are you actually thinking what you're saying to me? I don't think that person did. I don't think they were thinking at all. So we are going to pretend like I know how to pull this comment up because I am. Grace and peace, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by tonight. I really do appreciate you all. I got it. I just don't know why I won't pull up. I tell you, man, that's crazy. Now, see, first of all, y'all already know, if you follow Dear Woke Christian, you know good and well this person had already committed the cardinal sin. I'm being funny. The cardinal sin. Don't you write me no long comments like this. I don't even read these things, man. Like that's already how you know this person was wrong as two left shoes. Like, did you think Jason was going to read this? Did you think Dear Woke Christian was going to read this? For real. All right. So I'm going to put it up here and I'm going to read it. Hold on 1 second. I apologize. All right. I apologize. All right. Sorry about that. Man. All right. Let us go. Let's go. All right. So this, again, I really believe that this is a perfect example of the bad ideology, dare I say the really poor thinking that has that's just infiltrated the Black church to the point that we will honestly argue for sin. We are honestly now at this point, we are in a place now where we are arguing for sin in the church. Like that makes no sense. So let us go. And the comment is exactly like it is on the page right now. I have not done anything to it. So all spelling errors, all grammatical errors are the writers. And so this person wrote on earlier this morning. She said, how is her personal? I don't know. Personal what, boo? I don't even know what you're talking about. Personal what? How is her personal what we as Black women stand for? I don't know. What are you talking about? If she was a white, now this is the part, number one, notice how often she is going to deflect it onto another people group. Now, sure, I think you can do that every now and then, just draw the correlation, but like, hey, if a white person did this, it'd be a different outcome. That's how you know it's partiality. However, she does it all the time. Like this is like a staple of this conversation. So let's continue. If she was a white woman or man, neither one would be on trial, nor would anyone have anything to say. That is a bold-faced, unequivocal lie. And you know that. There are countless examples of white men and white women engaged in consensual relationships outside of their marriage or inside of their marriage, or outside of their marriage or with other consenting adults that have gotten fired, that have gotten fined, so on and so forth. Miss me with that dumb stuff. Trisha Murphy, miss me. There's entirely too many. There's entirely too many examples of it. But let us continue. She says, I support Miss Willis for standing up for herself. So she feels that Willis stood up for herself. Well, what did she stand up for herself for should be a question. Well, I mean, was she being harassed? Was she being was she being treated with racism? No, she was being called on the carpet and held accountable because of what? That's right, her sexual improprieties. which nobody has called her, nobody made her do. Let us continue. Because I'm 1,000% sure. Well, ma'am, there's no such thing as 1,000%. So your math is bad, your grammar is bad. I'm not understanding why in the world you wasted your time commenting to me. Why did you do that? Why? Did you think that this was going to go better? Let us continue. I'm 1,000% sure that it's a lot of white men and women. Again, she's projecting out there to other white people groups. Why? Why are we bringing in other people groups? We're talking about a black man and a black woman. What's white people got to do with it? Let us continue. Having sex together behind closed doors. Sure, there's a lot of married men and women that are engaging in the marital act. What is your point? What does that have to do with it? She's making it sound as if Fani Willis is being called on the carpet because she had a relationship with Nathan Wade. That is not it. And she knows that. And I'll prove it in a second. In a racist state, you will see black women, men have to settle for less as the white people with less education. I have no idea what she's talking about. What racist state is she talking about? What state is she talking about where where black men and black women have to settle for less as white people with less education? What does that mean? Because Fani Willis is what is she settling less for? She is the top law enforcement officer in the state of Georgia. I mean, she has achieved a wonderful position. Help me understand. Tell me what is it? I mean, literally, her next steps could have been either on the national stage. She could have been the governor. She could have moved into lots of different positions. What are you talking about, ma'am? What are you talking about? Let us continue. Y'all acting like, here we go. Y'all acting like Mrs. Willis, which, by the way, she's not Mrs. because she's divorced. So she's not a Mrs., but we will continue, is a criminal and Trump is the victim. I have no idea. Notice, so far, I have not mentioned that man's name. I've not mentioned 45's name. And guess what? I will only mention it as she mentions it. I've never mentioned the man's name. Why is it leftists you'll notice this in all of the comments. They keep bringing up 45. They keep bringing them up. Why? Like, leave that alone. If you leave that alone, like that has nothing to do literally with this case. The case is involving whether or not she's disqualified to be the prosecuting attorney on this case. That's all that matters. Whether or not she's a prosecuting attorney on this case. What the case is actually irrelevant. It's her. But I continue. And Trump is the victim. Trump going for everything he can call dirt on those who brought charges against him to get his cases dismissed. Trump is guilty as charged and shouldn't be allowed to work in the government in no government place. Let me just stop for a second. Why is it that when we don't like the person, guilty until proven innocent becomes the standard rather than innocent until proven guilty, which every man and woman experiences that privilege of saying that I'm innocent until I've been proven guilty? Why is it only when you don't like the person that you don't care? You don't care about anything. They're guilty because I say it. They're guilty because I want them to go to jail. I don't like the person. So therefore they're guilty. Like, why do we do that? And again, this person is professing to be a Christian. So they're in as part of the problem as well. Let us continue. Trump walk around as if he is above the law and untouchable. It's past time for him to go to prison. Okay, who in the world was bringing up Trump in this discussion? Not me. I maybe have mentioned him twice in any of my videos. Not many, but definitely she didn't mention him way more than I did. But let us continue. Y'all all over Mrs. Willis, which again, she's not married, so she's not Mrs. anything. She misses being in order, but let's continue. But overlooking Trump cheated on his wives and paid the woman hush money. As the leader of America, he gave security codes to China and Russia on top of causing the January 6th riots and refused to leave the White House peacefully. It's sad. Now, again, I have no idea how any of that has to do anything with Fani. I'm just wondering. It's sad when your own race, here we go. Because remember, you as a black person, you are not able to have a divergent thought or think something different than what other people, than the majority of the group thinks. So it doesn't matter. If you want sugar on your grits, you can't, because the majority group wants butter and salt and pepper. So therefore you can't have a different thought. And watch what she says. It's sad when your own race tried to throw you under a bus. And for the record, she wasn't the reason why Mr. Wade's marriage ended. He was cheating long before her and Mrs. Wade made that clear. I don't think I said anything about it. I just said Nathan was married, and he was still married. So I think he's married at this point now. The divorce has not gone through. So you're not divorcing, partially married. You are married, you are divorced. That's it. So I don't think anybody said that. I don't think if I said that, then maybe I'll apologize, but I don't think I said that. And I don't think that's the biggest issue on this floor. Let us continue. Let's go. Y'all just on here looking for reasons to put her down. No, Fani put herself down. Fani did a great job of giving her own self reasons to be put down. I didn't put her down at all. I didn't, but I'll continue. If this was a white woman, again, you're projecting some kind of racial knowledge. I mean, you're like Johnny Carson. You already know everything about everybody. If this was a white woman, y'all would be on her side. Really? How do you know that? How do you know that? I'm just listening. How do you know that? If a white woman was prosecuting Barack Obama and she was as wrong as today is Wednesday, I would be saying the exact same thing. I'm sorry. Help me understand how you know what I would be doing. I'm listening. I didn't think so. Let us continue. We as black women have to be strong and stand up for ourselves because some black people only want to see you fail. Let me just ask a question. What is Fani standing strong about? What is she standing on business about? About her affair and lying in order to keep that affair going. That's got nothing to do with her business, nothing to do with her work, nothing to do with her ability to do the job, not a thing. It's everything to do with the fact that Fani cannot keep her Fani at her home, wherever her home was, the condo or the apartment or wherever she ran away from. I don't care. I'm sorry, ma'am, you was with a married man. What do you want us to do? But again, why is the Christian church, the black Christian church, giving her duck and cover for this? Because I promise you, well, she's actually already said it in this comment that she's already delineated Trump's sins. Is she doing the same thing about Fani's? She literally is covering over Fani's sins, which, by the way, seem to be a lot like what she said Trump did. I just think that's adorable because she said Trump is guilty and shouldn't be allowed to work in government no more. He walked around here like he's untouchable. Where's the guy? I'm trying to find it. He cheated on his wives. Fani cheated on Nathan's wife because Nathan is still married and paid the woman hush money. The argument is that Nathan was paid far more than anybody else. That was his hush money. So I think she's talking about the same person. I don't know about this China codes and Russia codes, which it seems interesting to me as altogether. But boy, it sounds a lot like what she's saying is like what Fani did. Let's go. Because people want to see you fail. Would y'all be supportive? Would y'all have supported her if she came to the courtroom crying? I don't know. I don't know. I don't support her now. Why would I support her if she was crying? I don't understand. And when did a real friend speak out toward you to make you look bad? I think a real friend should be honorable and tell you that, again, this woman professed to be a Christian. Why would you I don't want my friend to lie on me or to lie for me, because that sounds a lot like what she wants her friend, Fani's friend, to have done, which is to not be honest, to lie, because that would have been perjury, which we saw that quite a bit on that stand. So she wanted that woman to perjure herself and put herself in a predicament in order to protect Fani and Nathan? Got it. Okay. Not a problem. I got you. That's not a real friend. That's your enemy waiting to kick you when you're down. So how about rather than that, how about I respect my friend? I have good friends and I recognize that, man, I don't want to put them in a pickle. I am not going to do things that's going to cause my friends to have to think about lying for me. How about that? How about that? Let us continue. Kick you when you down. Some of you calling her a liar, etc., etc. But some of you know how other women get jealous and flip all because they want your job. Who in the world is she talking about? Who is she talking about? I love this. I said what I said. What does that mean? What does that mean? I said what I said. You said a lot, and a lot of it was wrong. Like, what does that mean? These people are insufferable. But got it. All right. I'll figure out how to get that. I was trying to get that side by side together, but I was having a horrible time with it. I think it's okay. But it's such a huge comment anyway. You had to see it. Like, I'm like, yo, don't write anything like that because I'm not going to read it. I'm not. But again, I want to point out my issue here is not with Fani. My issue is with the black church that was willing to duck and to cover, to provide a place for her to be platformed, and she was completely and totally wrong. I'm sorry. It has nothing to do with the work that she was doing. It has everything to do with the woman that she is. That's it. That is it. I don't know where y'all keep getting this idea that people only care about the case that she's involved in. Even she had to bring the case in because I noticed that the attorneys asking questions never brought that stuff up. Fani and Nathan and her dad, they're the only ones that brought that kind of stuff up into the equation. Nobody brought up that she was black. Nobody brought up that they were white. Nobody brought up any of that stuff except Fani, because that's all she has. She has nothing else to argue, nothing else to stand on. So she uses her opportunity to try to position herself as a black woman against the wicked, evil machine. The first black, this, that, and the other against these mean, evil, bad people. It's just dumb. It's dumb. It doesn't work. And ethnic partiality doesn't benefit anybody. It doesn't benefit us as a people. It doesn't benefit people outside of that group. It doesn't. It just continues to keep the machine of craziness going, and nobody benefits in the end. So that is it. Thank you so much for tuning in today for my Fani's Dusty Comments. Let's see what kind of comedy we got in these chats. I see lots of good family reunion going on. Good to see you, Kiana. Grace and peace. Friend, grace and peace. What's going on, Eric? Always good to see you, man. K-Dub was in the building. Thank you so much, sir. Yo, back to you. I see DWC in the building. The other DWC in the building. There's Randy McFoy, another great Christian YouTube content creator. Check him out along with K-Dub True. All right, so Randy says right here, we get mad when other people do that. You know what? I don't even know what he's referencing, but there's so many examples in this case that you can just pick one. Like literally you can just pick one and say, yeah, when other people do that, black folk get mad. When other people groups do this, black folk get up in a tizzy about it. But we can do it. Like that doesn't make any sense. It's crazy. What's going on? Sheila's in the building. Good to see you, sister. Grace and peace. There he is, Stevie in the house. What's up, my brother? I don't know, man. That's a great question, Eric. What is white culture? Sipping martinis and listening to Frank Sinatra. I don't know, man. Frank was a great singer. So, I mean, it could be. I don't drink martinis. I don't drink. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. But, you know, back to, let me point that out. There's nothing wrong. If there is a white culture, if there isn't a culture, then that's fine too. It doesn't matter. Trust me, black culture is definitely up to discussion. So, and up for debate. So, hey, like, I'm not going to judge anybody. Like, go and do your culture. Do you? Okay. No, Jermaine Shoemaker probably doesn't understand black people. That's fair. That's fair. I'll take that. Good to see you, Tina. I think they're talking about black culture. Stevie's in the building. I see you again, brother. Thank you so much. I thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. Shara, my sister, in the building. Good to see y'all. Nikia's in the house always. Good to see y'all. All right, I think I got just about everybody. Oh, well, hey, Eric, I'm sorry that's a horrible mental picture, but that's what the black church has become on the body of Christ. Is becoming like a big, gigantic, festering blackhead. Like we need it to be excised for sure. They ain't gonna like it, but it's true. Just gonna deal with it. All right, so Karen says, my people group are my brothers and sisters in Christ all over the world. Amen and amen. I'm glad to be a part of that group with you, Karen. But that's my point. Like our collective, what brings us together, what draws us together should be Christ. Our organizing principle should be Christ. It shouldn't be our ethnicity. It shouldn't be our nationality. It shouldn't be these externals that are not not sanctified, but rather it should be the cross. The cross should be drawing us closer to one another as it draws us closer to him. I see some good peeps in the building. Lots of good family reunion. That's always fun to see the different people that have connected in the comment section. It's always fun to see. Thank y'all for doing that. I know you don't think, you probably don't think much of it, but to see you all going back and forth and talking in the comment section is always encouraging. All right, I'm not. Why are you hating on Fani for being on the Black Church Chitlin Circuit? Because she's on the Black Church Chitlin Circuit. Look, I mean, we need to call her to repent. We need to call the Black Church to repent. That's it. So Nakia said right here, Wade assumes that his marriage ended in 2015. He hasn't finally divorced his wife. So therefore, he's still married. So you can say that you're done with your spouse till the cows come home. But if your wife is still your wife, then and you haven't legally divorced, that's it. You're still married. I mean, that's just it. But it really doesn't, truthfully, in my opinion, the argument that Wade is married, in my opinion, is a secondary issue. Fani Willis hired Nathan Wade. So she is his superior. Fani Willis was the one that negotiated the contract that he would get paid that absorbent amount of money. She was his employer. She was responsible for him. And remember, she said that she would never be dating somebody that worked under her or worked with her. And again, there is in her quickness to run in there to hightail herself up into that witness stand, she admitted that there is a process for relationships in the legal system where attorneys or those superiors can acknowledge, like, hey, so-and-so and I are dating, and it's made known. There's actually a process. And she admitted that she didn't do that. So she admitted that she violated the rules, the ethics rule right there. I mean, there's a lot of problems with Fani. But again, the fact that he's married, that's almost a secondary issue to the fact that legally she made a lot of mistakes and she's going to end up getting disqualified. In my opinion, she's going to end up getting disqualified and her entire office will be subsequently disqualified. That's me. I already got the thumbnail ready. As soon as they come out with the acknowledgement, I'm gonna drop the video and we'll come live and we can talk about it. But she's gonna end up getting her whole camp disqualified because she got hot pants. Because can't nobody tell her what to do. Can't nobody check me. Okay, there we go. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yeah, don't be in the comment section writing essays. Look, I literally did a video a year ago. Maybe I should drop it again. How to get comments read. Like that long old comment thing right there. I mean, that's like a stream of consciousness, dude. It's like I'm reading something from Kanye West, for crying out loud. If that be the case, literally, do yourself a solid. If you have that much information, where did it go? If you have that much that you want to say, which in my opinion, you got too much to say, like go pray for me. If you got that much you want to say, please pray for me. As a matter of fact, just say, you know what, God, I'm not going to write nothing for Jason. I'm going to pray for that rascal. Pray for me. Before you write all that foolishness, just pray for your guy. But let me come back. If you feel inclined to write all that, at least break it down into some smaller pieces, because when you do that, it's a lot more readable, a lot more easy to digest, and so forth like that. Don't put that big old long. What did I do with the comment? Is this it? No, that's not it. What is it? Okay, I don't. Anyway, yeah, don't be putting them big old epistles, man. Say them epistles for the apostles, and there's no new apostles or anything like that floating around here. So let's not do that. But it's easier to read. Again, that was easily 5 comments. She could just wrote 5 comments and like 5 subjects and got it done. Don't write those big long things. They're not going to get read. I'm telling you right now, they're not going to get read. And I'm going to tell you what I do. I take it and I drop it in Chat GPT and I ask it to summarize it and give me bullet points. It gives me bullet points and I take the ideas and I understand what they're saying. And then I come in, I reply back. Or in this case, I did read it out loud, but most of the time I don't read those long things. I'm just telling you the truth. I know people who don't even read your comments at all. Like I at least engage y'all. So, Kiana's starting a channel. Let's go. Let's go. We're gonna have a kickoff party. We're gonna have a kickoff party for Kiana's channel. When your channel starting, homie? And it better be Ratchet TV too. It better be the ratchetty TV possible. Like reviewing Basketball Wives or something. Or 95-day fiance marriage boot camp thing. Whatever. Congratulations though. Willie Doc in the building says, I need my N95 for these comments. What's going on, man? They're not as dusty as before. Like it's just one big epic dust storm of foolishness. All right, what you got? K-Dub said. Yeah, Kiana Shaw gonna be making content? Uh-oh. You're gonna be on the other side of this now. I'm looking forward to it. Let's go. All right, so Gary says as such. If a white woman walked into a courtroom acting the way she does, she wouldn't have been in that courtroom very long. That's a fact. They deal with her ratchet behavior because of racism. I do think that's true. I do think they put up with a lot of what Fani's antics, because I even watched it with lawyers reacting to it. And they even said, and they were black lawyers, said that this is unheard of, this is unprecedented, where the witness is asking questions and they're behaving, they're demanding stuff, like, and they feel like those attorneys felt like they gave her this wiggle room because of her position and because of the optics of the case and the fact that there's lots of people with less melanin. There's only a few little chocolate chips in the mix, so they gave her a lot of wiggle room that they would not have given any other case. That's kind of what I understood. So, and I do believe that was the case. The case. Saying case a lot. Mark in the building. Shout out from the Harrisburg campus. Give him that air horn. There he is. There it is. I have no idea what they're talking about. Ruslan's debating about flat earth. That's wild. Okay. Yeah, that was just a long comment. Like, that's disrespectful. It's just disrespectful, man. Do you really think I got time to read that? Get out of here. And not make fun of it? Get out of here. Get out of here. She was. I mean, Fani was just disrespectful. And I think if I'm going to be honest with you, if we as the highly melanated people stopped putting up with theatrics and stopped putting up with, oh, that's just our culture, that's just the way we speak and the way we behave, if we stop putting up with that, other people would probably respect us and treat us differently as a whole. But when they see and be, again, go watch Fani's behavior with the volume off. Just watch it. Watch her body language and just ask yourself, is this a 50-plus-year-old woman? Is this the highest ranking attorney in the state of Georgia? Is this somebody that you really feel like, oh, she's representing? And again, you can say that she doesn't represent you as a black woman. You could say she doesn't represent you as a black person, but she does. But she does. And you know that because Nathan Wade, his behavior is totally different. Watch Nathan Wade's deposition with the volume off. And you see a man that is respectful. You see a man that is poised. You don't see, there's no reason to believe that he's raising his voice. I don't think he's getting hot and bothered. He's not waving papers around talking about that's a lie, that's a lie. Nothing like that. Then watch Fani and tell me what you see. LaChat says, long on words and short on common sense. I like that one. That one might actually make it on the Dusty comment unit. I like that one. Bad grammar and bad morals. I mean, come on. Like if we don't hold, and it's funny because when things happen in the Christian church, let's say, you know, some pastor wilding out and doing something ignorant and becomes a national scandal, they always talk about how the church doesn't critique itself. The church doesn't hold itself accountable. But then when the church says, when I'm a member of the church, the body of Christ, say, hey, Fani Willis doesn't need to stand in a pulpit lying. Because remember, at Big Bethel, she said she was not in a relationship with Nathan Wade. That was a lie. She made it all about race, but she said that she wasn't in a relationship with him. But let us continue. But when we do that, then we're picking on people. We're not standing in solidarity with black folk. But miss me with the dumb stuff. You can't have both ways. We have to critique ourselves and, dare I say, judge ourselves in light of the scriptures. We have to. Because if we don't, then y'all sit there and say that we didn't. See, that's why we can't have nice things. All right, let's see. Color doesn't matter, says Gary. Color doesn't matter. Hood rats in those kinds of positions make no sense. She has zero professionalism. And the thing is, you know what? Here, hold on. Because I don't know this, Gary. And I try my best to be a fair shooter. I try to shoot fair. I don't know what her professionalism has been like in the past. I'll admit, I don't follow every case of Fani Willis. I will say, when she spoke at Big Bethel, she did demonstrate hood rat tendencies. She did demonstrate low-grade orangutan behavior, okay? However, what we saw on Thursday last week, that was full-blown stage 5 orangutanism, okay? That was hood rat-ism. Again, that was it. She should have had the red weave, sucking on a lollipop with 9-inch nails, just talking trash, because that's exactly what she looked like. However, I'm going to give her the benefit that maybe she was able to code switch or behave differently before then. So I'm going to give her some, I don't know. So, but I'm going to say what I've seen so far was not highly demonstrated of a woman that demonstrates professionalism. Catch me outside. If you have an issue, by the way, there's a lot of people who probably have issues with what I said. So let's just make sure that you have a way to communicate your disdain. dearwokec@gmail.com. All right, let us go. Let us go. His servants in the building. All right, so Q, people already amped up about your podcast, Q. I'm all about it. Let's go. I'm on there. Uh-oh. Kiana, consider Orangutan Churchianity as a channel name. Take it. You can have it. You can have that one. I like it. I'm going to screenshot it and send it to you. All right. It's going to your email. Going to your email in a second. What's going on, his servant? Always good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. All right. I don't know which churches were worse, the churches she went to speak at or the ones who celebrated the Super Bowl and kicked the Bible. Wow, that is a tough one, Tina. Okay, I know this is gonna be bad. I'm gonna say the Fani Willis churches. I'm gonna tell you why. Because there were a ton of churches that mentioned her, prayed for her, exegeted her life. There was one church that kicked the Bible. There, I can promise you, without even working hard, I can find 10 churches that I think Woke Preacher Clip actually did a montage. So I actually think there's more churches that were basically, for lack of a better term, celebrating Fani Willis than actually than kick the good gracious, kick the Bible. I know that sounds bad, but they're both damnable. But I think there's more, and I think it's worse, the people that were exegeting Fani Willis. Oh, now definitely Nathan was uncomfortable, no question about it. But I think he was uncomfortable because he was not being honest. There was a lot of, I feel like, dishonesty there. All right, she totally ran over Mr. Wade with the bus and then backed it up and did it again. She emasculated him as soon as she opened her mouth. I agree. I mean, and I just want to know, like, how do men of high melanin feel about that? Like, they want, how do men feel about that? I know how I feel about it. I totally disagree with it. But Fani Willis was not my crowd anyway. She wasn't my clan to start with. But those who do coalesce around black people, you must celebrate black people, so on and so forth. Air horns for the black folk. What do you feel? How do you feel when you hear what Fani did? I'm just wondering. Fani making it hard for everybody, Q said. She is she was in charge. She is in charge, or she was in charge with the Young Thug case here in Atlanta as well. I mean, she got a lot going on, that's for sure. That's it. She just want to do thug things. She just want to do hood rat things with her friends. There you go. All right. Content creator meetup in Atlanta? Come on. So something can happen. Come on, let's go. Well, now technically, if Q starts, she's technically a content creator. So now we got Q, we got K-Dub. Why are you all the way over there? Get yourself on over to Atlanta. Come on. We can do it. I got the studio place that we can do it at. Now, K-Dub said, but there's a whole lot of churches that wish they would have thought to kick the Bible. Mike Todd is jealous. Let me just say this real quick. They have kicked the Bible metaphorically because they don't use it. They don't abide by it. So technically they have actually kicked it. So, I might have to go back on what I said earlier. There might be more churches that kick the Bible, technically. Yeah, they're both horrible. Tina says they're both horrible. She went from K-Dub stream to the Standard Truth podcast live. And I was like, who's worse? They're both horrible. Absolutely. That was just such a wild conversation. That was such a wild, I mean, y'all might not know this. In a past life, Dear Will Christian wanted to be an attorney. So I wanted to go to law school. I never did, but I would love to have gone to law school. Hearing this case and taking the time to hear, listen to the attorneys that are asking questions and kind of paying attention to what they're doing, especially when I was watching it with other attorneys that were kind of critiquing it, I was like, this thing is so wild. Just thinking about how they were having like married people arguments and they were not married. That is crazy to me. And this man got a whole wife at home, but y'all are arguing about things that would be married people would be arguing about. That's crazy. When you go back and listen to her, if you do, go back and listen to her deposition, she says things that are like, that's like for married people. That was crazy to me. It was just wild, man. All right, let me see what we got here. Looks like some good conversation. I wonder how many black liberals will mention Fani Willis at this year's Thanksgiving and run it for the rest of ruin it for the rest of their families. Being that it's February, and please understand, this is only February of 2024. Can you imagine what's going to be going on by the end of the summer? I mean, we've had so much happening in these first 8-9 weeks of 2024. It's crazy. So where I'm going with that is there could be tons of stuff. We still got a whole election coming up. A whole election still coming. So yeah, by Thanksgiving, we hopefully will know who our next president will be. Yeah, that's going to be wild. Wild. So I don't know. I don't know if they'll be still talking about Fani. They probably forgot about Fani by then. I know it sounds crazy, but there's a lot of things in the political cycle that seem like juggernauts, that seem like they're just so colossal. We're going to be talking about it, and the next thing you know, nobody even remembers it. Like Jamal Bryant talk about kids are going to be talking about Fani Willis in for Black History Month. No, they're not. They're not going to, trust me. They're not going to be thinking about Fani. Fani's going to be out of the news cycle and out of your mind sooner than you can imagine. All right. Okay, so the church, it was a Seventh-day Adventist church. They gave her an award on Saturday. Now, I think they should never, first of all, they should not have been giving her an award, period. But in Seventh-day Adventist, I have no, I'm sorry, that's a different faith system. So y'all go do what you're gonna do. But I wish they had at least reconsidered, given the fact that that was such a firebrand and lightning rod deposition that happened on that Thursday. They had time to cancel that, but it is what it is. Yeah, I wanted to be a prosecuting attorney. So, but I just, I didn't know a lot, and I just knew, like, I like to talk, and they talk a lot. Nah, I'll be like Matlock. So that's I would love to talk to somebody who saw. Okay, Karen says it was wild. I kept thinking about my family in England watching that. Okay, I would love to hear what somebody who watched a lot of the case, who's really invested in it, but doesn't live in the United States. I would love to hear them. I'll even go with somebody who doesn't live in the South, because I literally live in Atlanta. So I would love to hear what somebody who maybe a Northerner or somebody who's not even in the United States, that would be such an interesting conversation. Like, what did they translate this to be? Like, what did they get from it? Oh man, like, she doesn't want a real man. She wants a little boy she can control. I mean, there's a lot of problems, but find you a man that's single. That's it. Like, that's the problem. The problem is you had a man that was married and you were paying that man. And again, it looks like kickbacks. It looks like kickbacks. That's what they were. I feel like they made that case pretty solid. Tina said, I feel like it's been 7 months of life in just 2 months. I agree. When I think about, like, wait, this is February. Like, this is crazy. We ain't got we haven't got to St. Patrick's Day, Easter. Just there's so much that's still gonna yet to happen this year. I'm like, well. All right, Tina says, if she is the standard of how strong women she actually is, then Lord help us. Of how strong women she actually is. Yes, I agree. She's not. This girl said, I'm gonna be Fani Willis for Halloween. Gonna get a pink dress and wear it backwards, carrying papers and waving them wildly in the air like Fani. Girl, let me tell you, that's actually kind of funny. And I will approve of you doing that and laugh a little bit as well. All right, let's see. You got to report the cost of those things, though. You got to. K-Dub said he wanted to be a detective. See, there we go. FBI profiler. Wow. Okay. Maybe on Sunday when we do the Week in Woke, we'll talk about what did you want to be when you were. Okay, here we go. I'm just floating this by here, just a thought. What did you want to be when you left high school? What did you actually become when you left college, or 4 years after you left high school? Right, K-Dub said it's only just begun. That's the part that is wild. Like, yo, we got so much to do. There's so much left in this month. In this year. Truthfully, this month we got an extra day. So we still got a week left in February. Usually in Georgia, February is extremely rainy. So it's been real mellow. So I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means for us. Because it's usually like wild. They call it Febu ugly because it's usually pretty serious rain. And that's when we usually get our ice storm or something like that. It's hot. It's like 60 degrees today. My kids went to ice cream social at church. What is going on? Which woman would you prefer in the courts of heaven? Fani Willis or Katie Souza? Wow. Okay. Thankfully, we have another option, which is there is no such thing as the courts of heaven. So I don't have to worry about that. But man, that would be a rough one. And I don't even know. All right. I think I got it. I should have said it. I totally got you. I got you completely. Tina says, I meant if she's a standard for how strong women should act, then Lord help us. Yeah, like I gotta get outside and do some gardening this weekend. Oh man, thank y'all so much. Hey, by the way, thank y'all so much at the bottom down here. Thank y'all for praying. Podium Studio got a nice influx of some great content creators this week. Matter of fact, we have 2 attorneys coming in tomorrow to do work, and we have an author coming in Friday, and we have a doctor who's in a niche of high-risk pregnancies for minority women. Crazy. So they're all coming in to do some kind of digital content, and so we're looking forward to it. So thankfully, thank y'all for praying, because I need the studio to pay its bills. And definitely Lady Dear Woke Christian wants a studio to pay its bills. So thank y'all so much. I think we should, K-Dub. Now that would be hilarious. I would love to. I get TGOT to come on the show. That would be the best. Oh my gosh, that'd be hilarious. But yeah, thank y'all so much. I want to let you all know how much I appreciate you all not only hanging out with me, watching my videos, commenting small comments on my videos, but for all of your prayers and support. You guys mean the most. I really do appreciate it. What? Thank you. I got a super from the super producer. Thank you, Kiana. I appreciate it. Grace and peace. Thank you so much. We're going to cam up, TGOT. Cam up. Oh, K-Dub in the building. I just want to say thank y'all. You all have been supportive in the various and sundry ways, from super chats to commenting on my videos, to watching all of my videos, to just supporting the Christian content creators that like K-Dub and now Kiana and Randy McFoy and the countless others that have been around. Thank y'all, because it really does mean a lot. And if they don't say it, I'm going to say it on their behalf. Thank you. Thank you so much. It just means a lot. And to know that you all find value in what we're doing means a ton. And I always tell you, hey, these are some ways that you can support content creators. And of course, you can, drop that super thanks. You can go follow me on Buy Me a Coffee. Matter of fact, there you go. Just dropped the link there for Buy Me a Coffee. My ebook, 7 Things to Do Before You Get Kicked Off of YouTube, is on Buy Me a Coffee. It's free. Go pick it up, check it out, see what you think about it. But then also just go to, check out people's content. That's a great way and doesn't cost you anything. Just the, a little bit of your time to watch a video or 2 or 9 from me, or follow K-Dub's videos or April's, or watch them all the way to the end and leave some comments, those kind of things like that. It means a lot. And you might not think they mean a lot, but they do mean a ton when you're out here creating content, wanting to make much of Christ, and knowing that my brothers and sisters are finding some good content here and there is valuable to them. So thank you all very much. Let me see if I can get this right. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. All right. So what are we talking about? I've never watched an episode of SpongeBob. Never. There's a lot of culturalisms that I've never seen. I'm aware of them, so I do understand, SpongeBob has a ton of memes, so I totally get that part. And just tons of them. But yeah, I've never watched it. Truth be told, I know this is crazy, I've never watched The Simpsons. I may have seen an episode, but I can't honestly tell you I've watched it from beginning to end. I've never watched an episode of The Simpsons. And they're almost as old as I am. I think The Simpsons came out like 90, man. I'm almost certain they're crazy, but I've never watched an episode of it. Wait, what? Why? Here we go again. Well, at least Kiana, before she started talking about food, she at least, help a brother out so I can go buy me a taquito. I appreciate that at least. Why did you eat a taquito? Come on, man. Yo, okay. Let me tell y'all something. When your kids actually start growing up and maturing, it's such a weird experience. I was actually on the phone with Chris. Let me just tell the truth. I was on the phone with Chris yesterday afternoon. And so we were, me and President Firstborn were out, and she was practicing driving. And so I'm talking to Chris, but his son is laying on his chest, snoring like a buzzsaw, while mine is driving away in my car. And I just thought it was so crazy. Look at how crazy my life is. Because I can remember when President Firstborn was little like that and would snore and such. And now she's driving my car. That's craziness. Let me see. And I just thought that's crazy. So I'm not 100% certain where I was going with that story. I just wanted to tell it because I'm proud of my big girl. Oh, so yeah, as they're getting older, man, you see them doing things and accomplishing things, and it becomes really a prideful moment where you're really thankful to God that you're able to watch them grow and mature and tackle problems and overcome obstacles and get knocked down and get back up, all that kind of stuff like that. It's kind of cool. So, so yeah, I just thought that was kind of cool, and it was a good conversation that Chris and I had about that topic on yesterday. All right, let's see. The squishy age is wonderful. Yeah, mine have not been squishy for a long, long, long time. Okay. I think we're cute. Drop your link. Do you have a link for your channel? Do you have a link for your channel, Kiana? I would love for people to go and subscribe to it. I'll even give you a button on my stream deck. I don't see it, so hopefully you have it. But thank y'all again, everybody. I really do appreciate it. Today's Wednesday. I think that Rick Caldwell has a great live stream planned on tomorrow. I think April has one from the Standard Truth podcast on Friday. Don't quote me on that. I have some, and I'll be doing the Week in Woke on Sunday. I think Chris has pretty much a video dropping every afternoon almost But yeah, definitely check out other Christian content creators, support them, throw your hat behind them. Shout out to Corey Minor, shout out to The Standard of Truth, Edwin Ramirez, give him some love as well. It's always good to see brothers and sisters like Montana Viking attempting to do good things. G220 Ministries, Ricky Gantz in the building. And just go and support them. Let them know that you appreciate what they're doing. You appreciate them grinding, like Tim Frisch over at A Frisch Perspective and Conversations with a Calvinist, Keith Foskey. It's good to let them know that, hey, I appreciate what you're doing. Shout out to Donnie over at What Shall I Cry Ministries. Just check them out. Give them. Most of you all probably already follow them, but hey, go over and give them a comment to say, hey, I really appreciate what you're doing. Over at Sean at the Revealing Truth podcast. There's a lot of good content creators. That was not an exhaustive list. I was just trying to shout out some as I was thinking about them, but there's tons that I know I forgot. So we can just do that over and over again. But I do appreciate y'all. So thank you so much. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Let me know what you think about it. Do you think I was wrong? Do you think Fani was in fact a great representation of the Christian faith and so on and so forth? Or do you think that, hey, no, she should not be allowed to come into a church and be supported and promoted as if she is a beacon of hope and a beacon of morality? Let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you think, but keep the comments short. Please keep the comments short. Until next time, all of you crazy kids, I'll see you real soon. Grace and peace.